Neo4j for data scientists. This is part 9 of our series, which is advanced Cypher queries, some more interesting queries than what we've been dealing with so far. My name is Claire Sullivan. I'm a data science advocate at Neo4j, and here's how to reach me on the internet. Now, I'm going to give you a warning right now that my computer's been having issues, and this one is running a little slowly today, so just bear with me. Okay. As usual, I'd like to start out with a reminder of important web links. The first is how to create a free sandbox instance of Neo4j. The second is the playlist of all the previous videos in this series. And the final one is the repository for all the code in this series. So we're going to start with just a a GDS instance on Neo4j, a GDS sandbox instance, which brings up the Game of Thrones graph that we're all familiar with at this point. I'm going to start by showing a query here that can show you what the schema looks like for that graph. Okay, so here I have a nice schema. I can see which nodes are connected to which through which relationships to which other nodes. I can blow that up as I like, and that's all well and good. Cool. Okay, so now let's actually run some queries. First, I want to run this query that I've shown before, but I think we should take a look at it again because it's actually really influential. What I'm looking at is I'm looking at people in this graph who are going through a certain number of relationships. In this case, 2 to 3 relationships to some region. So this is like playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. And the nice thing about this is think about how complicated this would be to do in SQL. Okay, in SQL, this would be a lot of joins and really unpleasant ones at that. And so what we like about this is that when we know we have a lot of joins, that should be an indication that we have a graph problem. Okay, second example here, we're going to show how to calculate the in degree of a user or of a person here. So I have a person node here. And then I'm going to return their name, but then I have this different thing here, size. So what I'm looking at is the size of some node going through some other node to my person node, and that's my in degree here. So let's give that a run and see what happens. Okay, so I see that Tyrion Lannister is my node with the highest in degree, and that makes perfect sense if you know the books. Now, I could also set in degree as a property to my nodes, okay, and that's using this set function right here. Okay, so what I'm doing is when I have my person P, I am using this dot in degree. So what that's saying is that I'm setting the property in degree with that person equal to that same size relationship. So I can give that a run, and that'll give us back exactly what we saw before. Now, I am going to refresh my browser because it's running a little slowly. This is, again, one of the joys of having my computer go down. But the next thing that I'm going to show you once this comes back up is that it's very easy to reverse that same query to get out degree. So in this case, what I've done is I said P is going through some relationship to some other node, and I'm getting the size of that to calculate my out degree. So we run that, give it a second here, and it comes back with Cersei Lannister as having the highest out degree. Last thing I want to show you is this concept of paths. We can specify a path in Neo4j by saying match P variable equals to something, okay? And in this case, I wanted to make this a little bit more interesting, so I'm going to say the shortest path, okay? So this is a quick way that I could find the shortest path between nodes. In this case, I am specifying my node to be a person named Eddard Stark going to some other person through whatever relationship named Vance, okay? I don't actually know who Vance is, but seemed like he wouldn't be immediately related to Eddard Stark. And I can see here that it takes a few hops to get there. So for instance, I can see Eddard Stark has interactions with Robb Stark, who was the defending king at the Battle of the Golden Tooth, and Vance here was the defending commander at that battle. So shortest path you want to be a little careful with because it can get a little slow at times. So it's always helpful if you know information about your nodes to specify them as much as you can. With that, I'd just like to say thank you for tuning in this week. If you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see in future videos, please reach out to me on Twitter, and have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.